The Department of Mineral Resources and Energy has commended Eskom on its recent performance, which has resulted in the suspension of load shedding for nearly 2 months. The department, together with Eskom and other role players in the energy and water sectors, have come together to reassess priorities and develop plans to ensure energy and water security for the future at the Enlit Africa Conference in Cape Town. The gathering will also address aspects of Africa's energy transition while looking at the role of traditional generation technology. For more on this story, we cross now to SABC News reporter Corbin August and video journalist Clinton Cerf. Very good afternoon to you. Corbin, tell us what's happening where you are in Cape Town.
Well, yes, good day to you and to the viewers at home. We're currently positioned here at the Cape Town International Convention Center, where we've just been observing the first day of the gathering here at Enlit Africa 2024. As you indicated, various role players from across the value chains in the energy and the water sector have all come together under one roof to develop plans to ensure energy and water security for the future. Now, during the first session, there were various presentations that were made from these role players, and the presentations that were made included from the city of Cape Town, Eskom, the whole new management team were present here and delivered an update on the progress that's been made just with regards to generation and energy, the current state of energy in South Africa, and also just gave us a brief outlook on what we can expect later. Of course, we are marking nearly 2 months of the suspension of load shedding at this stage. And during that briefing, the Eskom did say that they have ramped up their operations at the various power stations, and the outlook that they painted inside was quite a positive one going forward. Of course, they are saying that they are working on boosting generation and transmission capacity for the next couple of months. But we do have, among the various role players who are attending and participating here, the City of Cape Town's Executive Director for Energy, Corbin August, also addressed the plenary. He's joining us now to give us an update from a municipality's perspective, just to talk to us about how they feel about the current energy situation in the country. Corbin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you and good afternoon.
So, Corbin, let's just perhaps dive straight into it. Just with regards to the current energy situation, just as the city of Cape Town, what do you make of it?
Well, I think firstly, as you've already pointed out, we've had just over 55 days of load shedding free days in South Africa, and of course that's reassuring to some degree, but of course we know that energy reliability is one factor. That's the one thing that we have to consider, but also affordability. And so for the city of Cape Town, in developing our own energy strategy, what we're trying to do is to look at it from the perspective of, yes, reliability being key and ensuring a constant supply of electricity to our customers, but also ensuring that the price is affordable, particularly to the lowest common denominator in terms of our more impoverished members of our society. So we've been tackling it from that perspective, and so we've put a number of programs together within the city that are designed to, first of all, provide for additional capacity, mostly from the private sector, and then also to look at the response that's required from our customers, looking at demand response, curtailment programs. All of these are designed to ensure that there's a contribution coming from those customers as well.
Okay, and then when the city comes to an event like this, meeting with all the various role players, so what are your expectations from this gathering, and what do you think you can achieve here going forward?
So for us, this represents a very important event on our calendar in terms of energy and water in particular. And so what you'll find is that there are a lot of participants here that have very innovative solutions. They've been operating in different markets, not just in South Africa, but abroad. And they bring those solutions to the table. And the City of Cape Town views itself as very innovative in terms of its approach, and so we would like to engage further with those participants out here that have got solutions to offer to our particular market and our environment. So during the course of the next 3 days, there will be a lot of networking that takes place here. But as I said to you, it brings together, I would say, all the key stakeholders active in the energy sector in South Africa, but also abroad. And so through exchanging, knowledge sharing, and of course being able to engage more fully in a collaborative basis, we're hoping to introduce some of those solutions in the Cape Town context.
And then, Kadri, while we have you here, we understand that there was a bit of an issue between Eskom and the city of Cape Town, with the city requesting the transfer of some service areas of Eskom to the city. Just with regards to what's happening currently, and we understand that Eskom actually they pulled out of those talks. What's your position now? Where do you stand?
Yeah, it is unfortunate, in fact, that Eskom has had a rethink in terms of the transferring of Eskom customers to the city. It was, in fact, a proposal that was mooted first by a previous CEO, Andre de Ruyter. And so the mayor in particular was very receptive to the idea. I think at the heart of it is the need for us to provide an equitable service to all customers, all citizens of this great city. And so with that in mind, I think we pursued that quite vigorously in terms of supporting the idea. I think since Andre's departure from Eskom, I think there's been somewhat of a rethink within the leadership of Eskom, and that, as you've mentioned now, has culminated in Eskom withdrawing from that particular item of discussion. So we're quite hopeful, and I think the mayor maintains a level of positivity around it, in the sense that we hope that Eskom come back to the table, because we do believe it's in the best interest of all the citizens of Cape Town if they have a unified, uniform supply of electricity, that they receive.
Then, Kadri, can you maybe just briefly, because we are concluding now, maybe just briefly outline one or two of the key interventions that the city is proposing to ensure energy security going forward?
Yeah, so we've launched Cash for Power. So Cash for Power builds on our small-scale embedded generation program. Under Cash for Power, we are able then to credit our customers, commercial customers and residential customers, for power that they actually feed back into the grid. And then once they've actually written off their municipal accounts and cleared that, then if there is an additional credit that's available, then they will be compensated for that. So that's a very real scheme, and so far we have just over 30 million in credit that's actually accrued by the commercial customers out there. On top of that, then we also have our Power Heroes campaign, and the Power Heroes campaign is designed to allow for residential customers to also play their part. If we introduce smart meters, which is the current plan, we're able then to shift the non-essential loads during critical periods, particularly during load shedding. If we shift 60 megawatts of load, we are able to mitigate up to one stage of load shedding. So that's the plan, and the idea is to get residential customers to buy into the idea at no cost to themselves, other than for obviously contributing access to their house in terms of the use of the smart meters.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Of course, that was the Executive Director for Energy here in the city of Cape Town, Mr. Kadri Nassib, just giving us a bit of an overview of the city's position from a municipality's perspective. Of course, Mr. Nassib saying that they are working on various projects as interventions that are aimed at alleviating the energy crisis and also just ensuring energy security here in the city of Cape Town. With that, back to you in studio.
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Corbin August.